Hi guys, welcome to the Chams Pod, our home of banter, banter, banter. And today we are very, very honored to have one big artist. Hata sijui nitamuintroduce aje. He's a lion, Wyre, the love child. Hello, Wyre.
I'm good. How you doing, Brenda?
Good.
Finally, I made it, man. I've got to your show. Asante.
I should say, thank you for honoring the invite.
No, it's all good, man. You're running things, man, in Australia, and I'm loving what you're doing with media. So I'm proud to be on your show.
Thank you.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So your introduction, Mifan, actually was very lame, but I want you to introduce yourself.
Well, go on, people. They call me Wyre the Lion. You can call me the Love Child. I'm a nice guy,
Are you?
as far as I know.
We are yet to see.
Music is my life.
Yeah.
I love music. Been doing it for quite a number of years now. We give thanks for that we're still here many years after, still doing what we love, which is touring and spreading the message of love through music. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So it's all good. Aside from that, yeah, I'm also a journalist, so I'm going to be asking you quite a number of questions as well.
I'm ready.
Yeah, Sindio.
Bring it on.
Let's do this.
We already said we're having fun on this episode today.
No rules, no rules.
Yeah, no rules. So I expect so much fun. Please laugh at some point, hata kama ni ya kuforce.
Hata kasi funny.
Eh,
At least umenipatia permission.
yeah.
Tutarun nayo.
Okay. So your real name is actually Kevin,
Wyre.
and that's your stage name.
So, I was in that during my high school days. I was at that point trying to look for a name, trying to figure out, use initials, do I use an AKA? It was just hard to find. So I just narrowed down to Wyre is not that common, so let me just use it and twist, put the kawaii there instead. Make it sound kind of cool.
And it's still very, very cool.
Yeah.
Because most people would use, something boy, something boy.
Yeah.
You could have said dancehall boy. Yeah.
Nice. Hiyo ingewaka.
Siko creative as I thought. Okay. Yeah. So you landed on Wyre.
Wyre. So the love child came. Long story. So in high school, we used to have these burnout sessions that we used to do after prep time. And what happened is all the rappers from all the streams used to come to our class. And after prep, we used to try and see who's the best rapper, in all these classes. So my desk mate used to play the beats on his desk. You know what I mean? And all the rappers used to come through.
Yeah.
So everybody's coming through, all gangster and stuff, and I'm the only one who used to do love songs. It was like, this is like a ladies' man.
Yeah.
Lovey-dovey guy. So it stuck. Wyre the love child from ever since.
Wow. Are you actually a love child kind of guy? Still the same?
I'm a child of love.
Beautiful.
Moving on to
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how the AKA came up.
Okay. So we now have Wyre, we have the love child. How did we get to Lion?
Lion, it's a couple of years ago. I worked on my album in 2015 called the Lion album. But Lion is a state of mind I'm at right now.
Explain.
It's was like my next level of creativity and my artistry. So how I wrote that album and how I composed it, I call it the Lion State of Mind. And also it was a dedication to my son. So the title song on the album is called Lion.
Wow. Yeah. It's a very, very, very interesting name. Yeah. So of course I was going to ask you, musical journey, good old stories.
Do you have time?
Yes, I do. Luckily that's all we have. Long. Yeah.
Where do you want to start from?
I want to start from first us acknowledging that we are shooting this in Australia. Can you imagine venye tumekimbiza? Let's breathe. Start over.
Big up you and your crew. Ile kazi imeendelea hapa behind the scenes. You know me, I've seen it from scratch. Kudos to the whole team. Bwana engineer amefanya mambo yake kule. Yeah. Great stuff you're doing.
Thank you.
You're a great team.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. So now you're in Australia. So by the time you're doing all these tours, there's definitely the genesis of the journey. So how did we get started?
at a very young age, I got interested in music. My father had the largest collection of music on vinyl. So I grew up listening to, you name it, from Elvis Presley to ABBA, Boney M, Bob Marley and the Wailers,
Wow.
Jackson 5, Michael Jackson. So I grew up listening to so much music. But the first tape cassette I ever owned was Don Carlos tape, which is a reggae album, and that's how I fell in love with reggae music. So slowly through the years came in the evolution of dancehall. So Kina Yellow Man, Shabarangs came in, Bon Jamaicans, and I fell in love with
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
So the more I listened to it, then and the more I used to try to learn the music, the more I learned the lingo. I remember at some point there was this guy called Snow. He had this
Snow.
famous song called Informer, and I'm the only one who could perform that in primary school.
Oh, so we are talking primary.
Well,
Hata hatujafika high school bado.
Bana.
Okay.
Got into high school, I joined the school choir.
Yeah.
I formed an a cappella group called Soul Pack, and I think that was where I got a lot of my experience when it comes to performing. First time I ever got on stage, I was with Soul Pack in high school. We performed in the school, in our school itself, and I'll never forget my first day on stage. By the time we were done with the song, my shirt was so wet.
From all the sweats.
I was so scared, man. Yeah. So I think stage fright yangu ilishia nini
Mapema hivyo.
kabisa. So, but I'm glad we got that kind of experience much early. I recorded my first song when I was in high school. Never got to release it. Recorded 2 songs, but shortly after, when left high school, I started recording. I studied mass media, and during that stint is when I really wanted to do my internship at a production house.
Okay.
And that's how I got to meet up with Ted Josiah.
The legend.
Actually, I'd met Ted before while I was still studying mass media. And that's when I got to record my first single. And so when we were told, okay, go look for the place you want to do internship, I reached out to Ted and told him, listen, I really want to do this production thing.
Yeah.
And, he was like, yeah, let's do this, man. So I was the first intern for Audio Vault ever.
Wow.
And that's when production really taught me so much. And that experience made me grow as an artist, because I was privileged to work with so many artists, produce for them. Gidi Gidi, Maji Maji, Chengabura, Prezo, all those guys, man. For me, it was such a privilege. I got to learn how to copyright and script write adverts. So there's many adverts out there that went out with my voice on it that guys didn't know.
Wow. Do you remember any of them?
Yes.
Come again.
But that's a story for another day.
Okay.
Moving on swiftly. Yeah, so that was like the genesis of how the music started back then.
Okay.
And at Audio Vault is where I got to meet Nazizi. Got to work with her. We decided, we told our producer that we'd like to work on a project together.
Yeah.
We started working on it. So I remember the first song we ever did, Ted included an additional rapper onto it. And that rapper was actually K-Rapt.
Wow. The legend.
The late.
Yeah.
So we did a song, myself, Nazizi, and K-Rapt. We never got to release it. Because I remember us even rehearsing, trying to see how we can get this song, get to perform the song. Unfortunately, we never got to release it. So we started working on another song, myself and Nas. And Ted saying, they kept on saying, this song needs a rapper who's going to rap in English. And Nas was like, this guy grew up with, let me come with him tomorrow in the studio. Let's see what he like the vibe. And who walks into the door? Bamzig.
On. Wow.
So that's how the original unit met up. And that's how we recorded the first song, Clang Clang. We released it on radio, and it went straight to the top of the charts. I think it's stuck for like a month on #1 Capital. And Ted was like, you know what? I'm lacking the response for the single. Why not work on more content?
Yeah.
So we recorded the second single, which was called Lovers Rock. The third one was called Shuja. And all singles all took off pretty much. So it's like, since we've got this here, why not work on a full album?
Yeah.
Right about the same time, Safaricom was launching in Nairobi. And I remember Audio Vault at that point had been contracted to do the activations. And since they needed artists to, to come and perform at the activations, us we were just chilling, looking all innocent there in the studio, like, guys, do you wanna come and do this thing with us? We're like, okay, we don't mind.
Yeah. Did you know?
So I remember the first day of the activation.
Yeah.
There was two main activations. So the first one was at Nakumat UK before it was brought down. Nakumat UK, there was a setup out there. We did the show. And I remember now the next one was going to be on Jogo Road. There was Camp Toyo. So on the way there, our manager stopped the van and he was like, guys, listen, this is David Muribi.
Yeah.
He was like, listen, can you guys get a name for your group before we get to the next venue? And we were like, what do you mean? Before the next show, we get, like, yes, I'm not going to on stage to call you. Next up is Nazizi, Wyre, and Bamsi. Get a name.
Yeah.
That was the longest drive of our life. Like, what do you?
Because
So we're thinking, initials, BWN, what? We need
a name.
It just shoot. And then out of nowhere, Nas just mentioned Necessary Noise. Then we had silence in the crowd. We're like, that's it. Because that pretty much described us. The moment you put three different artists, different styles onto one project, you would normally get noise if they don't sync.
Yeah.
But in our case, it worked well, so it was necessary. So that's how Necessary Noise was born.
I was going to ask that question, actually.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we've never looked back ever since. We did a first album, which was self-titled. Back then there was no social media. So what made the music big was once you get the spins on radio, your stage act is what would dictate how big the music would be or the kind of demand. I remember we did our launch at a place called Bar Italia. And one of the things we always used to cause chaos on stage, pyrotechnics and everything. So what happened is we lit a fire on stage.
Literally,
there was a trial with muffed. There was fire. It was a team who used to do that. We lit fire on stage. Myself and Bamsi used to jump through the fire when the intro was playing with the mics and hype the crowd like mad.
Wow, that's crazy.
And then on that day now, Nazizi walked through the crowd when she came in with bodyguards through. And the one thing I remember from that day is there's a lady who turned and saw Nas, and then she passed out. She could not believe Nazizi in the crowd. She passed out. So the team is freaking out, like, okay, do you go get the ambulance quick, or how do you get care, or we continue with the show?
Yeah.
But I think it's that excitement that we used to cause on stage that now created the demand. Because guys were calling the stations now to ask, you guys don't have Necessary Noise? Did you see what happened? I remember there's one of the Safari 7s that we came in through the crowd on Ducati bikes with the microphones. And then when we got onto stage, those pyrotechnics, it was madness. I think Abbas, back then we used to call him Jerry Doobies, also performed with us. It was crazy. So that's what created demand for the brand back then. Whatever you do on stage, there was a ripple effect of guys asking the station, man, we want this Necessary Noise thing.
Yeah.
Shortly after the first album, Nazizi and Bamsi left the country for their studies. So I remained here doing more of now the production.
Yeah.
And, that's when actually I really grew as a producer, because I ended up doing many campaigns for different companies and producing for many artists.
Yeah.
And starting to work on my solo album as well. They came back shortly, maybe after 2-3 years, and decided why not continue and do something. At that moment, Coke Coke was,
Cool.
was sponsoring a project, a music project, 3 albums, and they wanted to sponsor a comeback necessary Noize album. So that's when we worked on the Kenyan Boy album.
Yeah, and that happened.
That
Very.
one, I am so glad we worked on that album because now it put both myself and Nas in a very good place as solo artists. Unfortunately, Bamsi could not continue because he had to go and pursue other things. But yeah, now we travel the whole world with Nas, man, because of the Kenyan Boy album. Because I think now it really gave a twist to the Kenyan urban sound at that point.
That must have been
Yeah.
big.
And I think Nas was a very strong symbol when it came to female empowerment because she stepped into a man's game.
And
Yeah,
ran with
you
it.
know what I mean? She used to
Yeah.
freestyle with male MCs and take them head, head on, man,
Yeah.
without fearing. Yeah, shortly after, few years after, I now moved on and did my solo projects. Nas did hers, and we're here today.
Great.
Yeah, man.
That was a beautiful journey. So we
Nimebonga sana, my dear.
no, iko
How are you
sawa.
doing?
This is a podcast. Yeah.
Mhm.
So now we've had necessary noise. So it was actually noise, yeah?
Yep.
That for showbiz?
It what?
Instead of noise, it's noise. That was the pronunciation,
Well,
right?
it's
Yeah.
Noize with a Z,
Yeah.
spelled
Yeah.
with a Z.
Okay. So then at some point you were with East African Bashment crew.
Bashment crew.
Tell us about that.
So when the Kenyan Boy had really caught fire, well, we'd done a US tour, and at that point, Bebe Cool, our good friend, was doing a comeback concert in Kampala,
Yeah.
and he said, "See, Bebe started his career in Nairobi, so we used to perform, we used to hustle with him, man." Doing the Miss Kenya shows, I used to perform at Beats of the Season with him and Chameleon and Red Sun.
Yeah.
So we knew each other from back then, and he was like, you know what, guys, I'd love you guys to come and support me in my comeback concert in Kampala. We were like, hey, cool. So immediately we came back from the US, our first US tour. Spent like a day here. We went now to Uganda.
So Uganda.
And when we got there, first thing I told him, like, bro, man, this song of yours, King of the Jungle, is still one of my favorites. He's like, really? Thanks, man. Why don't we hit studio tonight and see what we can work on? So that night we hit studio, myself, him, and Nas, and we worked on a song called Africa Unite.
Yeah.
A day after we did all our performances, we did the song jointly on stage and we performed it. And the crowd went crazy because they'd never seen such a combination.
Yeah.
So that created a demand for us as a unit.
Yeah.
And we kept on being called back to Uganda for more and more shows. So anytime we went back, we used to go and hit studio. And that's when we got to record things like Fire Anthem, Kube, Nanini. And it just created a whole monster, man. I was in UG twice every month. Even my accent was changing.
Slowly.
I'm telling you, I started learning the lingo because it was like our second home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the reception was so amazing. And then there was a ripple effect now back home as well. It became an anthem, man. And it's a power of music, bringing cultures together. It's amazing what it can do for
Exactly.
you.
Yeah. So you're literally saying that Bashment crew was formed in Kampala.
In India.
Yeah.
That's where
Okay, that's beautiful. So does the group still exist?
still there, but we've all been caught up in with life, man. Because it ended up at some point you find it's either I'm on tour. I remember Nas was on media as well.
Yeah.
Bebe is on tour at different times. So us linking up at a certain point to work became a bit of a challenge. But it's all love. Anytime we still link up together, we get to do magic together as a unit.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you at any point get signed to any record labels?
Nah, I've been independent all through. Just doing this thing. At some point, Audio Vault was managing as artist.
Yeah.
But I've never been actually signed on. I've been independent all my career. So tumepambana, tumeng'ang'ana.
Umekazana.
Yeah.
Umbali
But we give thanks, we're
umetoka.
still here doing what we love.
Yeah.
You know. But I think I'm at that point in my career where I decided to move on to other things that would help enable other artists to do stuff with their music. About 3 years ago, I joined the tech world, tech space, and built a platform that helps artists monetize their content much easier. And it's called Blow. It helps artists to make revenue much easier, through between 4 and 6 different income generating points on one platform.
Okay.
So different artists can thrive differently through merchandise, some through streaming, some through selling exclusives on the platform. Yeah, things like that, man. Trying to see how far that can go.
It's actually good. So
Tech is a new craze, man.
Okay.
And that's where the money is right now.
It is.
Yeah.
100%. So how does anyone, is there a way we can, the artist access Blow?
Yes, so it's a web-based platform. It's not an downloading app. It's BLOOWAfrica.com, blowafrica.com. You can just register without, there's no payment involved. Just register, and you can choose to sign up either as an artist or just a regular listener. Just stream music on it.
Okay.
And yeah,
and everyone is welcome.
Yeah, man.
That's great, because I was going to ask you, so what challenges do you think African artists face? By the time you came up with Blow, you must have seen a few things that were missing in the industry.
Okay, having done over 25 years in music, I've seen the transition and the challenges guys have been going through. One has definitely been suffering at the hands of the middleman when it comes to music. By the time your royalty gets to you, man,
imepita kwa wenyewe.
Ambia nini watu. Okay, you're the famous guy on stage with the money in your pocket.
Yeah.
At times, if an artist would like, let's say he has an upcoming performance over the weekend and needs to do maybe 100 hoodies, you know what I mean, before the festival or the show is coming up, maybe he doesn't have the capital to put into the merchandise, you know what I mean? But if your fan can just log onto your Blow profile, choose a mock-up and design a hoodie for singer X, and make for the payment there and then, you've taken away a problem for the artist, a headache for the artist. You know what I mean? And he's made his money just by chilling at home, sending a tweet that his merchandise is available on Blow. You know what I mean? So as long as you can make the artist experience much easy, if he can go to bed and wake up with money in his e-wallet because somebody in Perth bought his hoodie, and he's on the way there. It's going to be delivered somehow in a couple of days. You're good to go.
It's a win.
Yeah, man.
So speaking of merchandise, you're rocking Home 254.
Yeah.
Na nimekuona nayo sana.
You like it?
Throughout this time in Australia. Yeah, I love it.
These are my people, man. This big up JB, man. Fire merchandise, Home 254. Yeah, we have a partnership with them. We're doing a couple of things, my brand and theirs, and but I love their products, man. They're definitely quality products, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Big up.
Watu wangu sana.
Yeah. Because actually, anytime natembea huko Australia and I see someone kama amerock Home 254, it just feels really good.
Yeah,
ni kama
that pride of back home, Kenyan pride. Man. I rock Kenyan, man.
Yeah, ni kama uko na band yako ya Kenya.
Adi? No, unfortunately.
Wow.
See, after interview tunipatia yako.
Moving on swiftly. I can't believe umetoka Nairobi bila band. Anyway, so we know you as a great dancehall and reggae artist.
Thank you. I try.
No, you are very great.
Kuna
wazito? Acha tusimame
I'm just a
mention.
vessel to represent the country.
No, you actually do such a good job.
Thank you.
And so it's interesting to see, the journey that you've been through musically.
Yeah.
But how did you end up really choosing dancehall? Because I know your first song, Ile ya Sikiza Nikueleze, and that's not dancehall.
Sikiza, wow.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back there. How
Sikiza,
did
my first single,
Yeah.
actually was actually R&B. So the very first demo that I did for Ted Josiah, and back then Ted was like mad Timberland or Quincy Jones. So by the time you were handing a demo to him, it had better be good.
Yeah.
I remember his caretaker at his gate wouldn't even let me in.
Wow, that was big.
He didn't open the gate. He peeped through, the latchet
Your
hole
latch
down
gate.
there.
Yeah.
He peeped just. He's asking what I want and like would like to see Ted. And like Ted, are you and I can see Ted's car. Like,
Ulisikiaje at
but
that
it's crazy
time?
because in less than a year I was that guy's boss.
Wow.
Because now I was doing internship at the same place. Yeah, so the first demo I gave Ted was a blend of R&B and dancehall on one song. And I think that's one of the reasons he really liked my demo. And I remember the day he called me into the studio after I'd left my tape and everything. I got a call on my landline.
Landline.
Moving on swiftly.
No, you're not moving. What do you mean landline? Akukwa na mobile?
Kanyagia story. On my landline.
Akukwa na mobile?
Got a call on my landline.
Okay.
And he was like, yeah, we would like you to come to Audio Vault.
Yeah.
Ted would like to talk with you in regards to your
Single. No. Demo.
So back then, who was hot? It was Kalamashaka and Nikki who were really hot. Ted was working with them.
Big.
So I remember chilling at the reception, and I think it was Johnny of Keshaka who just walked. Yeah, Johnny just walked by. I'm like, now it's like you just seen Snoop Dogg walk by. I almost fainted. So shortly after, he called me in the studio. I was there with my former manager. And so I said hi to Ted, and he was with Ambrose of Mandogo Digital.
Yeah.
And he was like, I listened to your demo. So I'm waiting for a bashing. I'm like, okay, here it comes.
Watcha.
Tell me, master, how bad was it?
Yeah.
And he was like, I didn't even tell Keishaka this, but you are tight. You're a tight artist. So me inside I'm doing backflips, and I'm jumping in, and I'm going mad.
Yeah.
He's like, Ted, I just told me my demo is tight. And but I'm trying to keep calm. I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. That means a lot. Thank you.
Humility.
Yeah. So he was like, you know what? Come back in 2 weeks. Let's start working on your first single. And that's when we got to work on Skiza.
Oh, okay.
So Skiza, but he gave me a challenge on Skiza. Yes, I did the R&B sound, but he wanted me to rap. So that's why I did the small twister flow at the climax of Skiza.
Yes.
And that's how we did it, man.
Yes.
But the same year that I dropped Skiza is when Nameless dropped Mega Rider.
Oh, 2 big hits.
And from the same
from the same
label. Yeah. So me and brother Moski tumetoana mbali. Yeah.
Naitwa Moski.
It's a nickname though.
I've noted it down. Yeah, that's it. That's an interesting. Hi, Moski. Shout out. So, wow, clearly Ted Josiah has,
he meant
in a way shaped you.
A lot, man. I really looked up to him career-wise, man. I learned a lot from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how did we get to dancehall and now reggae?
Dancehall. Like I told you, my first tape ever was a reggae tape. And then I soon got into listening to Yellowman, Shabarangs, and all these cats. That's when I started, trying to write that style. And I learned the flow. And that's how I got into it. So my first album was actually a blend of R&B and dancehall, blending style, which was the definition of a love child album. And that's why my first two singles of that album I dropped Chuki as the first single. So guys,
Can I admit that that's my favorite
yeah,
song ever?
thank you.
I saw you perform it on stage na nikakimbia, nilikuwa huko
The
backstage.
crowd was
The
amazing, man.
crowd,
So
yes.
the people, it's normally a crowd favorite. So that was it was after the album for Kenyan Boy had come out. So I
Yeah.
wanted to show guys both of my passions, which was R&B and dancehall. So that's why my first single was Skiza, Chuki, and then the second single was Make a Choice, showing now
Make a choice. Make a choice.
the dancehall side.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how you need. But now, I think even in Kenya, it was just going through a revolution that time with dancehall and reggae. And I think it caught fire because I think the excitement was we have one of our own doing this genre and being very experimental as you can, man. You know. So by the time I started doing one, I managed to get onto to the relationship rhythm, and that was a big deal because there hadn't been a Kenyan artist on a Jamaican rhythm before.
Yeah.
I remember getting a call from the US from a DJ, this DJ Babu or KD, I think it was Babu. He called me and he was like, "Bro, there's an album here that's just been released because he's in a DJ spool, and I'm seeing Coley Buds, I'm seeing Ginger, I'm seeing Sean Paul, Elaine, and I'm seeing Wyre."
Who's Wyre?
He's like, "It's you." I'm like, "Dude, play the song." So when I played it, when he had Love Child Pandiki, he was like, you're
It's you.
Emenda. Emenda.
Moto sana.
But for me, it was a proud moment that he was like, at least finally one of our own is on these projects and he's playing alongside other greats. So for me, it was a bit of a proud moment. And now then came in the collaborations with some of the Jamaican artists and stuff. That got me airplay on their side, which is a big plus now also for us. Yeah.
Okay.
It also helped that I got to win the International Reggae Award as well at some point. So we give thanks.
I'm smiling because it's like you had seen my questions before. You're running chronology. Umenimaliza.
Yes.
Allow me to ask, how did you get into the Jamaican, airspace and everything?
Even
Airspace near Navy.
The moment I got into those projects is when now I started getting airplay on that side. And also, so now they started reaching out also, some of them for collaboration stuff, which was played a big role.
Yeah, and you've worked with one of their artists kwa hiyo song moja kubwa yenye tunapenda. Yenye nakupenda pia.
Nakupenda pia. Yeah, man, that one was, I'm so glad we got to do that project. The funny thing is that I opened for Elaine when she first came to Nairobi, but we didn't get to talk at that point. So when I reached out to her team, I hit studio and I worked on the demo.
Yeah.
And I wrote half of the song and I sent it to. So when they got back in touch, she said she loved the song, and yeah, she did her magic, man.
The rest is history.
Kabisa.
It's a very powerful song, actually.
Thank you.
I think even the first time nilijua kuna, I was so surprised that a Jamaican artist could sing it Swahili. That was,
and I didn't write for her. She did it even without my knowledge.
That's even more interesting.
So when she sent, I was doing a show in LD. I was in Eldoret.
My hometown.
No?
Shout out to LD. Oh, that's my camera. Shout out LD.
Yeah, man. So
Eldoret.
Yeah. So on the drive back from the show, I'm getting an email, a Dropbox. I'm seeing stems and vocals. I could not. That was the longest drive back to the hotel because I knew it was her vocals. I had the verse and she had killed it. And then I had her sing Swahili. I did backflips in the hotel. Wow. That was it. Crazy, man.
I would have done the same.
Kabisa.
Because she did it so well.
Yeah. Oh, no, she killed it, man.
She did. So apart from Alain, you've worked with who else in Jamaica?
Morgan Heritage, Peter and Gramsman. Rest in peace, Peter. Cecile, G-Wiz. There's quite a number of artists up there we worked with. Africa, a whole heap of artists.
So
named
many.
from Two Face, P Square, TID, ni wengi.
Is there
They were
someone you
cool.
haven't worked with?
Yeah.
Is there
Kenya
someone?
sasa ni wengi. Tusianze kuongea juu ya kina Jua Kali, Nameless. Kuna watu wengi sana.
Ndio nashanga. Is there someone you haven't worked with?
That I'm looking forward to?
Yeah.
I'm always open to working with different artists, established or non-established, by the way. For me, as long as the end product is quality music,
Yeah.
I strive to do whatever we can to put out some great music.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Unajua niliona video moja, the Morgan family, Morgan Heritage, introduced you in stage. Was that in?
Oh man, that was 2015 when they came to Nairobi.
That was in Nairobi.
Yeah.
What was the show about?
No, it was a Morgan Heritage concert, and I was opening. I was one of the opening acts. So after my set, during their set, they decided to call me up because we had done the song we'd recorded when the guarantee.
Yeah.
So it's the first time we ever got to perform it, man. And man, Peter just gave me a grand introduction, man. I was like, what?
I loved
For
it.
me, it was very humbling.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to my experience with Caribbean artists, it was very, for instance, when I traveled to Jamaica to shoot the video and did my show there was this sense of this is a reggae artist who's not from here, embracing our culture and fusing it with the Swahili and the Sheng. So for them, I think that's what really was exciting for them. You know what I mean? So it was a very warm welcome from their end.
How did you feel at that point when they were doing the introduction?
I am proud of myself. That's like reggae royalty saying this is one of us.
Imagine.
This is part of the family. So for me, it was very, very, very humbling. Yeah, because I really look up to them also when it comes to the reggae industry.
Yeah, I could see it in your face.
Kabisa, I was like, well,
this is big. Any new projects you're expecting?
Yes. Next EP in the next couple of months, probably third quarter of the year, that should be coming out. So expect some new vibes. I've been behind the scenes working, man.
You have, yeah. Because when's the last time you dropped?
It's been a while since I dropped an album. Last album dropped in 2015.
Yeah.
The Lion album. So all through it's just been singles coming out and touring. I mean, we give thanks we're still out here touring, man. Like this tour has been amazing myself with my brother Juakali, man. I can't. It's been fun, trust me. Reminds us of the good old days, early 2000s, still touring, man. You know what I mean? So we're still, for us, it's still, we thank God we're still here doing what we love.
Still as legendary as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mtanauliza swali.
Sasa, where do we start with you?
As a trade journalist.
Next up is a commercial break. We shall be back after this commercial. Thank you. Welcome back, and you're watching Chams Pod. They call me Wyre the Lion, and I'm going to be the host this time. So, how have you been?
Yes, I've been all right.
So, Brenda, I want you to tell me, what's been your most embarrassing moment while interviewing a guest?
Today was actually going to be one of my most embarrassing moments because I'm glad I caught it before we started.
Yeah. Surely, me, I just keep... Yeah, no. Your best interest at heart. Why would I?
I know, no. Like, kuna jina I was going to ask you, but nilikuwa nimeconfuse hizo majina. So one person is late, the other one is alive. So I was about to mention jina ya mwenye ako alive niseme. Yeah,
okay.
so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was going to be my most embarrassing moment during an interview. Ingine, see.
No,
Oh, actually, I have one.
Hujaing'oa, hujaisrub,
I shrub all the time, but...
ukiinterview crush wako ama nini, yani
Hi, crush.
unajua kishrub imeenda inatoka ka imeenda.
I shrub a lot, but I acknowledge it quickly. I learned to acknowledge it, so I blame my Kale.
Okay.
And yeah, so
Okay.
yeah.
No other embarrassing moment?
No, I have had an embarrassing moment, another one. One of my guests alikuwa ananiambia fans wa Brisbane wanakupenda.
Uh-huh.
But I thought he meant yeye ananipenda.
Oh, so you took the...
Luckily haiku come out, but I felt it, the way I responded, ilikuwa, yeah. You get?
Oh, you were taking the...
Yeah, I thought, wow, we are in love.
You were about to sign an autograph.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Where can I sign?
Yes, I was out to say, yes, I do, yeah.
Okay. What would be your dream interview?
Jua Kali, can you make that happen?
Yeah? I got you. I know people. I'll make some calls, man. It's my boy. Talk to me nicely.
If you have, guys, which ones? If you see Jua Kali Mgenge on my podcast, just know it's thanks to Wyre.
Okay. I got you.
Thank you.
I'll make my calls.
I'm waiting.
I'll
Fingers
make my
crossed.
calls.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Is he?
Oh yeah, very cool guy. Jamaa ametulia sana.
Ndo namjua sana. Yeah.
Ndakupatia raida yake. Ndio akiwa hapa mazee ukuwa umemsort.
Unajua as tangu niingie job ya promotion kidogo, ndio nikashanga haya rider means everything that I need as an artist. I used to think it's just about artist aikwambia rider ni nataka Mercedes. You know?
Amenda kutumia mse wangu wa boda.
Okay.
Okay.
So come to realize rider is just everything about accommodation and hospitality. But I love it.
Lakini okay. Si tulikusumbua?
Kwa tour ya Australia.
You're very simple guys.
Let me think about it. You actually were
Georgie?
very good.
Oh yeah? Georgie ndo tutamsumbua.
Who's Georgie?
Georgie ndo tutamsumbua. He's another guy who kept on calling us before he traveled here.
Yeah, he used to be my manager, but I fired him, so yeah.
Unajua mtu akosa kudeliver.
Unamfire mbio. Yeah. But shout out to Georgie, my former manager.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He made this happen.
No worries. It's all good. All right. So do you want to carry on with the interview?
Yeah.
Okay. And we hand it back to our host, a lovely host, Brenda Chams.
Welcome back. Thanks Wyre for hosting us. Nilitaka kuuliza, unajua on the first part of the interview tulirush through East African Bashment crew. Nikashanga East African aje na artist nimesikia ni Noize and You from Kenya and Bebe Cool ni wa Uganda. I thought East Africa it's just more than Kenya and UG.
See, at that point, Naz has her Tanzanian roots as well. So it was actually pretty excited when guys saw, the three of us up there because, we represented all three countries at that point, UG, Kenya, and TZ. So she got her TZ roots.
She's the queen then. Yeah, not to represent Missouri. I love her to death.
Kabisa, man.
She still looks young. And you do too, because when I first posted about the premiere, inaitwa premiere, Nikki posted about the tour, and every comment was like, Wyre still looks the same.
Tunaumwa sahi after ile show ya juzi. Kai.
Mbona mnaumwa?
Kurukaruka bana, this age bana si mchezo bana.
Ulibeba Kaluma. Takutafutia Kaluma.
But we give thanks. We're still doing our thing.
Do you go to the gym?
Kidogo hapa na pale, kukula ma vegetables, ka jua kali, kula healthy.
Jua kali nasikia mnamuita mbuzi.
No, ko healthy man, you know. So the reason we can be able to do back-to-back tours, you know. Just trying to keep your health in check, man.
Yeah. So you go to the gym? You actually go to the gym?
Yeah, but I've been lazy the last 1 month.
It's not showing, don't worry.
For some reason.
Don't worry, it's not showing.
Yeah?
Na pia kwa raida yako niliona hot water, so you're...
Yeah, I'm a bit... whatever you take, just like as your prep before you go on stage really, really helps. So naweza meza kitu fulani mazee niende kuimba off key on stage ama sauti isha by the third song. Mtanzushia watu wamelipa sijui how many dollars wengie.
And let me tell you the market. When do uliniambia the fans know when the show is?
I think the audience they've come a long way, man. They know what they deserve. They know what quality entertainment is. So I think it's a challenge for every artist just to make sure you're in your best shape, and you're fit, and you can deliver a good show. Ile mtu anasema, hey, it was worth me paying for that ticket.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not easy also. I mean, staying relevant or being able to, keep a crowd entertained for like 1.5 hours on stage, you need to have done your homework. Lazima ukuwe umesoma crowd vizuri. It's not only just about listening to the music. If somebody wants to listen to your music, they can just get into a streaming site and listen to the song. Mm-hmm. But at a show, guys want an experience, a memorable experience. So as a performer, you need to give yourself that challenge. How do I get another booking because of doing this show in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you've mastered it. God, you've mastered performance.
Yeah, tunangangana.
If you see my IG pale nimekujaza jaza.
Yeah,
you did so well.
Yeah, big up on all the posts, man.
Unaweza ambia manager niongeze pesa, your promoter.
Ongea. Sasa unacheki vile jamaa ulifuta job.
I'm sorry.
Kuna vile ndamtafuta. Jabidi umtafute.
Tamtafuta, yeah. So that was really good, even just working with you. So such a big honor.
Thank you.
So before we finish, director anasemaje? What's the one thing you'd want to tell an upcoming artist? Artist mwenye anafeel ana struggle to grow, when will I ever be like Wyre and do all these tours?
It's a journey. It doesn't come overnight. People have different paths. People have different journeys and experiences.
Yeah.
Some will get it on the first song. You know what I mean? Naitaenda. Some will struggle before they find that song. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or find their sound. Or experiment. But no one can sit there and say that you won't make it. There's only this formula that you can use. Music consumption has changed. The industry has changed. The rules for 20 years ago are not the ones that are there now. They don't necessarily need to apply now. Sure. How people consume the music has also changed. How music gets to the consumer has changed. Maybe back then, maybe we had like three to four FM stations rotating your music. That would be easy to take off. Now you've got 100+ stations, both online and regular stations. Yeah. So people, one, are spoiled for choice. Two, you're over 1 million artists trying to get the same attention, to grab the same attention from that audience. Three, it's much easier from the artist to put out music now.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally used to have to go to the stations to give out our CDs, or go to the music stores, Asanad's, Musicland, all these shops to take your CDs on consignment to sell, and wait for the store to call you to tell you,
Tumeuza.
Yeah, tumeuza, bring us more stock. Touring was even more of a nightmare because you had to travel with one suitcase of your clothes, the other one with CDs. And you have the headache of getting there and you're telling customs, you're trying to justify you have a whole box of CDs.
Exactly, yeah.
Nowadays, all you need to do is, once the single is out, by the time you're traveling there, guys are singing your music back to back. I was telling Joe Kali, I was so excited the way he just started pushing a single before we started coming here. And guys, by the time we landed there, guys are singing that song back to back. You know what I mean? So that's really changed the dynamics of the industry. And that's a big plus for artists right now.
Yeah.
You can get to go viral, man, on TikTok or any of these platforms nowadays, just by putting out a course. So the power is in the palm of your hand. It's been made much easier. It's just for you to figure out what formula will work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So never doubt yourself at it, saying, I have to work this hard or I have to use the formula. There's no planned out formula. Just be true to yourself as an artist, put out quality content.
Yep.
Don't be so keen to only jump on what's hot, but feel free to be the trendsetter as well, because that will give you longevity in the industry as well as an artist.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. What's the one thing you learned very late in life?
I wish I jumped on the online revolution a bit earlier. I was one of the first guys who started with that, because having joined now the tech, the tech side of things, I see what people have done because they were there at the right time. And when this online revolution started, I think, tumekuwa mbali sana, man, much further. But anyway, it's never too late to learn or to perfect your art.
So far, so good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're actually doing so well. Nimekufollow TikTok leo.
Yeah?
Follow me back.
Yeah, wicked.
I've tagged you on so many posts. Follow me back.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wyre.
Thanks for having me, man.
Sijamaliza.
Yeah. Sasa nimefanya nini?
So, nilitaka kwanza kusema thanks very much for coming to our podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for inviting me, man.
Yeah, singekosa kukuinvite. And yeah, I'm hoping kwa hiyo present yako yenye umenipromise ya jua. I hope that happens soon.
Let me make some calls.
Yeah.
Ni boys wangu sana.
Yeah, I know. Nimeona kwa projects.
Ni boys wangu sana. So.
Yeah. And I hope me, you, and him can have a sit down
Yeah.
at some point.
You can make
Do
it
you
happen.
think?
Yeah. You never know.
Anyway, it's been such an honor. Enjoy. Did you?
Sana kabisa.
Any last words, parting shot?
Nah, just thanks for having me. Glad to be in Aussie for the third time. The first two shows have been amazing. Big up your hometown. Melbourne was crazy. They came through and they showed out. Adelaide was crazier.
Really?
Okay, both energies were up here.
But Melbourne's was a little bit higher.
Both were.
Let's face it, Adelaide do shago.
Nisijasema kitu.
Yeah.
Muskia hits vichapa. But yeah, it was good, man. They came out and we had a great time. Looking forward to, Sydney, Brisbane, and Perth, man.
Yeah.
Let's make history, man.
Let's do it.
Kabisa.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We give thanks. We'll see you at the next show. Yeah?
Yes.
So, such nipigie jua.
Yeah. Pigia jua. Sawa. Thank you.
Kabisa. Yes.
That's it for today, guys. As usual, as I keep saying, please subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I love you so much. Mwah. Thank you.